Hi, welcome to EPG Pathshala Spanish. I teach Spanish in the Center of Spanish, Portuguese, Italian and Latin American Studies in the Jawaharlal Nehru University. And my name is Rajiv Saxena. Me llamo Rajiv Saxena. We are in this module which we call the Verb Chart 7, which deals with the imperative mood. We are giving these verb charts with the objective in mind that you have a list of the verbs conjugated in the imperative mood so that you can use them to improve your communicative skills in written and in oral Spanish. Please remember that it is important to have this list in a printout in front of you, and you have to memorize all these verbs in the imperative mood, which is the objective of this module. So, like I have told previously, these verbs will also come very handy while speaking, writing or reading in Spanish. However, just be careful while using these verbs as they require special attention. So that is why it is advisable that you please go through the related chapters first before attempting to use these verbs in your communication. Learn the verbs over here, but for learning how to use them, go to the related chapters and then use these verbs in your communication in Spanish. In the verbs that we are going to be dealing with today, the third person singular and plural are Elia and Elios. But as we already know that there can be an Elia, Usted for singular and Elios, Elias, Ustedes for plural pronouns in the same place. So keep that in mind. Now, how are we going to give the command in the to form for a verb like abrir? Abrir is a verb that means to open. The command, the positive command of abrir would be abre. So I would say abre la puerta. The negative command of the verb abrir would be no abras, which is no abras la puerta por favor. So I repeat, abrir in the to form is conjugated in the positive as abre and in the negative command as no abras. How do we do the conjugation of a verb like acostarse, which is a reflexive verb and which means to go to bed? The positive command of acostarse is acuéstate with an accent on E. The negative command of acostarse is no te acuestes. So I repeat, acostarse, to go to bed. The positive command or imperative is acuéstate with an accent on E, and the negative command is no te acuestes. The same sense we can pick up another verb which is almorzar, which is to have lunch. The positive command of almorzar would be almuerza. The negative command of almorzar would be no almuerces. We can continue in the same manner because all these follow the same pattern that we have given. So, beber, to drink, in the positive command would be bebe. The negative command would be no bebas. I repeat, the positive command of beber is bebe. The negative command of beber is no bebas. Of another reflexive verb, we can take the example of callarse, to be quiet. So, the positive command of callarse is cállate with an accent on A. The first A carries an accent. Positive command of callarse is cállate with an accent on the first A. The negative command of callarse is no te calles, which is no te calles, do not be quiet. How do you do the conjugation of a verb like CEPILLARSE, which is to brush oneself? Well, the positive command is CEPILLATE with an accent on I, and the negative command is no te cepilles. I repeat, the conjugation of cepillarse in the mandato or imperative is positive command is cepillate with an accent on I, and negative command is no te cepilles. How do we do the conjugation of cerrar, to close, in the imperative? Well, it is done in the same set pattern that we have been insisting on throughout, which is positive command is cierra, the negative command is no cierres. So, if I want to order you to close the door or not to close the door, I will say, oye, cierra la puerta, o por favor, no cierres la puerta. How do we do the conjugation of a verb like comer, to eat? Well, the positive command is come and the negative command is no comas. So, I will say, por favor, come pan, please eat bread. The negative command would be no comas pizza, do not eat pizza. Is it clear? So, let us continue with other verb forms and other verbs of the same imperative mood. So, let us talk about a verb like decir, for example, to say. So, the positive command of decir would be di, and the negative of decir would be no digas. So, I would say, di la verdad, por favor, tell the truth, please. Or I will say, no digas mentiras, please don't say untruths. Another thing that I would like to pick up is reflexive verbs and how they are used in the imperatives. We've already done 2-3, but let us pick up some more so as to reinforce the idea of how the reflexive say is included into a command form. So, let us pick up a verb like despertarse, to wake up. Now, despertarse, to wake up, in Spanish is in the negative command given as no te despiertes. The positive command is despiértate with an accent on E. So, I repeat, the positive command of despertarse is despiértate, and the negative command of Spanish of despertarse is no te despiertes. Let us pick up another very common thing that we do every day, which is ducharse, to shower. So, the positive command of ducharse is dúchate with an accent on U, and the negative command is no te duches, do not take a shower. How do we do the conjugation of a verb like entrar, to enter, in the positive command and the negative command? So let us see. In the positive command, we follow the same pattern and we say entra. The negative command would be no entres. So I will say entra en la clase por favor, or I will say no entres en mi despacho por favor. Is it clear? So let us pick up another verb, which is escoger, or to choose. The positive command of escoger is escoge, and the negative command of escoger is no escojas. I repeat, the positive command of escoger is escoge. The negative command of escoger is no escojas. Let us continue with other verb like escribir, to write. How do we do the conjugation of escribir in the imperative? We do it by saying positive escribe, in negative no escribas. So escribir becomes escribe in the positive, and in the negative no escribas. Fregar follows the same set pattern. So fregar, to scrub or to clean, is in the positive frega, and in the negative command no friegues. Fregar, remember, becomes in the positive friega, and in the negative command no friegues. Let us pick up a verb which we have used so many times to illustrate: hablar, which is a common AR ending regular verb. Hablar, to talk or to speak. So the positive command of hablar is habla. The negative is no hables. I repeat, the positive command is habla and the negative command is no hables. Right? So I'll say habla español, or I'll say no hables en el aula, por favor. Okay? Let us pick up another verb which is like hacer, or to do. So the positive command of hacer in the to form is haz, and the negative command in the to form is no hagas. Haz for positive and no hagas for negative. Let us pick up another verb which we use very often, which is ir, to go. The positive form of ir is ve, and the negative command of ir is no vayas. So the positive command is ve and the negative command is no vayas. Let us talk about irse, or which is to leave. So the positive command is vete and the negative command is no te vayas. Clear? Because all these are used many times in colloquial Spanish also. Vete, please go, or no te vayas, please do not go. Let us pick up another example and another verb like jugar, to play. All of us do a lot of this activity, which is to play. So jugar is in the positive command juega, in the negative command no juegues. I repeat, jugar in the positive becomes juega, in the negative it becomes no juegues. Levantarse is another verb that we would like to discuss and is again a reflexive verb. So levantarse, like despertarse, is to get up, and like despertarse, this is also a reflexive verb. So levantarse in the positive is levantate with an accent on a, levantate, and the negative command is no te levantes. I repeat, the positive command is levantate and the negative command is no te levantes. Let us talk about a verb like limpiar, to clean. The positive command is limpia. The negative command is no limpies tu. I repeat, limpiar, the positive tu command is limpia. The negative tu command is no limpies. Let us talk about another verb which is maquillarse, to put on makeup, and this again is a reflexive verb. So like levantarse, the positive of maquillarse, the positive command of maquillarse is maquillate with an accent on I, maquillate. The negative command of maquillarse is no te maquilles. I repeat, positive command maquillate with an accent on I, and negative no te maquilles. Let us talk about another verb which is in the AR ending verb and is like, for example, mirar, to watch. So the positive would be mira and the negative would be no mires. So it's very clear that it follows the same set pattern that we're talking about. So in the positive, I'll say mira la puerta de Alcalá. Look, the Alcalá gate. And I would say no mires la televisión, por favor. Don't look at the television. Don't watch the television, please. Right? So the positive command is mira. The negative command is no mires. Let us talk about another thing that we do very frequently, which is PEINARSE, to comb oneself, right? So positive command in the to form is peínate and the negative command is no te peines. It's very clear. Positive is peínate and negative is no te peines. Let us talk about another AR ending verb like PENSAR, for example, to think. So, PENSAR becomes in the positive PIENSA and in the negative no pienses. I repeat, PENSAR to think in the positive becomes PIENSA and in the negative it becomes no pienses. Let us pick up another reflexive verb and talk about it right now, and let's pick up, for example, PONERSE, to put on. So the positive would be ponte and the negative would be no te pongas. So PONERSE, to put on, the positive command of tu would be ponte and the negative command would be no te pongas of PONERSE. Of QUITARSE, to take off, the positive command in the tu form would be quítate with an accent on I. The negative command would be no te quites. So, quitarse, to take off, the positive command in tu is quítate. The negative command in tu is no te quites. For SACAR, to take out, for example, the positive command is SACA. The negative command is no saques. Let us talk about another verb which is important, and we have done it many times also, which is SALIR, to leave. The positive is SAL. The positive command of SALIR in the tu form is SAL and the negative command in the tu form is no salgas. I repeat, positive command SAL, negative command no salgas. SECARSE, in the same sense, to dry oneself, it becomes secate. On the negative, it becomes no te seques. Let us go on with the verb like SENTARSE, to sit. The positive would be siéntate. The negative would be no te sientes. I repeat, SENTARSE, to sit, in the positive is siéntate. In the negative is no te sientes. Let us talk about a verb like ser, which is a very important verb and is used a lot of times. Ser, to be, in the positive command would be se with an accent on e, and the negative would be no seas. I repeat, ser, to be, in the positive is se and negative would be no seas. Another verb that we should talk about over here is subir, to go up. The command or the positive command of subir in the tu form is sube. The negative command in the tu form of subir is no subas. I repeat, subir, to go up, positive command becomes sube, the negative command becomes no subas. Tener, to have, the positive command becomes ten. The negative command becomes no tengas. I repeat, the positive command becomes ten and the negative command becomes no tengas. What do we do with a verb like tomar, to take? So, the positive command of tomar becomes toma and the negative command becomes no tomes. I repeat, tomar, the positive is toma and negative is no tomes. Venir, to come, in the positive command becomes ven and the negative command is no vengas. I repeat, the positive command of venir is ven and the negative command is no vengas. Where, to see. How do we do the conjugation of where in the positive and the negative commands? Well, we do the same thing that we have done, as all of us have seen that there is a set pattern. So, the positive of where would be ve and the negative command of where in the tu form is no veas. I repeat, positive command of tu of where is ve and the negative command of tu is no veas. Again, let's talk about another reflexive verb so that we are interchanging between the regular verbs and the reflexive verb to make you people understand the difference between the two usages. So let us talk about another verb in the reflexive, like for example vestirse, to get dressed. So the positive command of vestirse in the tu form is vistete with an accent on I, and in the negative the command is no te vistas. I repeat, positive of vestirse in the tu form is vistete with an accent on I, and in the negative it is no te vistas. So let us talk about another important verb, which is vivir, to live. So the positive tu form of vivir is vive. The negative form of vivir is no vivas. I repeat, the positive command is vive and the negative command is no vivas. Let us talk about the Usted command now. We have already seen many examples of the two commands in the positive and the negative. What happens when we are talking about a person who commands our respect, who is senior to us, whom we are meeting for the first time, or who holds a rank or a position above us? We use the form Usted. And if we are using the Usted form, how do we use the imperative or the commands? So let us see some examples. Let us pick up first the same verb that we have done earlier, like abrir, to open. So in the positive command for Usted we will say abra, and in the negative we will say no abra. Please remember, because you're talking about in the Usted form, always use an exclamation and always put on a por favor. So it should always be abra la puerta por favor, no abra la puerta por favor, so as to show how courteous and how well educated you are. What do we do with verbs which we have dealt with previously in the tu form, which are the reflexive verbs? So let us take up a verb like acostarse, to go to bed. So the positive command of the acostarse in the Usted form would be acuéstese, and the negative or command of acostarse in the Usted form would be no se acueste. I repeat, acostarse, the positive command Usted would be acuéstese, and the negative command would be no se acueste. Let us talk about a verb like almorzar, to have lunch. So the positive command would be almuerce, and the negative command would be no almuerce. I repeat, almorzar, the positive command would be almuerce, and the negative command would be no almuerce. Let us pick up another verb like beber, to drink. The positive would be beba, and the negative would be no beba. I repeat, the positive would be of beber, beba, and the negative would be no beba. Let us talk about another verb like callarse, to be quiet. The positive of Usted in callarse would be cállese, and the negative in the Usted form of callarse would be no se calle. Let us talk about a verb like cepillarse, to brush oneself. The positive would be cepillese with an accent on E, and the negative would be no se cepille. I repeat, the positive command in the Usted form of cepillarse would be cepillese, and the negative command in cepillarse in the Usted form would be no se cepille. Let us talk about a verb like cerrar, to close. The positive of cerrar, the positive command of cerrar in the Usted form would be cierre. The negative command in the Usted form would be no cierre. I repeat, positive cierre, negative no cierre of the verb cerrar. Cierre, no cierre. Of comer, the verb comer, to eat, the positive command would be coma, and the negative command would be no coma in the Usted form. I repeat, for comer, the positive command would be coma, and the negative command would be no coma. Let us talk about the verb decir, to say. So the positive command would be diga. The negative command would be no diga. I repeat, the positive command of decir would be diga and the negative command would be no diga. Let us talk about another verb like despertarse, to wake up. The positive of despertarse would be despiértese with an accent on E, and the negative would be no se despierte. I repeat, despertarse, to wake up, would be despiértese, or in the negative would be no se despierte. What do we do with a verb like ducharse? Ducharse, as we've already pointed out, is a reflexive verb. So we follow the same pattern that a reflexive verb follows, and we conjugate it in the command form in the following manner. The positive command would be ducese for usted with an accent on U, and the negative command for usted would be no se duce. I repeat, the positive command of duchar in the usted form would be ducese, and the negative command in the usted form would be no se duce. Let us talk about another AR ending verb and talk about entrar, for example. Entrar is to enter. The positive command in the usted form would be entre. The negative command would be no entre for entrar. I repeat, positive entre, negative no entre. Let us talk about another verb like escoger, which is to choose. How do we do it? We follow the same pattern that we've been talking about in the last few minutes. Escoger, the positive command usted form would be escoja. The negative command in usted form would be no escoja. For escribir, to write, the positive command in the usted form would be escriba. The negative command in the usted form would be no escriba. I repeat, escoger, positive, escoja, negative, no escoja, escribir, positive, escriba, negative, no escriba. Let us pick up another AR ending verb, for example, to scrub, fregar. The positive would be friege. The negative, usted form would be no friege. I repeat, the positive to scrub would be friege. The negative would be no friege. Hablar, for example, to talk, the positive usted form command would be hable, and the negative would be no hable. The famous movie of Almodovar, Hable con ella, or speak to her, or I spoke to her, would be hable con ella, speak to her. Hacer, to do. The positive command of hacer would be haga. The negative command of hacer in the usted form would be no haga. I repeat, hacer in the positive would be haga. In the negative usted form would be no haga. Ir, to go, in the positive usted form would be vaya, and in the negative form would be no vaya. One of the ways of saying goodbyes in Spanish is vaya con Dios, or go with the gods. May you go with the gods. Let us talk about another verb, which is ir or irse, to leave. The positive command in the usted form would be vayase, and the negative command in the usted form would be no se vaya. Let us pick up another AR ending verb like jugar, to play. The positive usted command would be juegue. The negative usted command would be no juegue. Let us talk about another verb, which is levantarse, to get up. The positive command in the usted form would be levántese with an accent on A, and the negative command in usted would be no se levante. Let us repeat it once more. Levantarse, to get up, in the positive command of the usted form is levantese. The negative command usted form would be no se levante. Let us pick up another AR ending verb, limpiar, to clean. So the positive command in the usted form would be limpie, and the negative command in usted form would be no limpie. Let us talk about another verb which we have done previously when we are talking about the reflexive would be maquillarse, to put makeup on. So the positive would be maquillese with an accent on I, and the negative usted form of maquillarse would be no se maquille. I repeat, of maquillarse, the positive would be maquillese with an accent on I, and the negative would be no se maquille. Mirar is another AR ending verb, and it means to watch. So the positive command in the usted form would be mire, and the negative command in the usted form would be no mire. Let us talk about another verb that we have done previously, which is PEINARSE, to comb oneself. So the positive of PEINARSE in the usted form would be PEINESE, and the negative command in the usted form would be no se peine. Let us talk about PENSAR, to think. How do we do the conjugation of PENSAR in the usted form command? Well, the positive command in the usted form of PENSAR is piense. The negative command in the usted form of PENSAR is no piense. I repeat, PENSAR positive, piense; PENSAR negative, no piense. PONERSE is another reflexive verb, and how do we do the conjugation of this in the command form? Well, we say for the positive command in the usted form, póngase with an accent on O, and the negative, no se ponga. I repeat, the positive would be póngase, the negative would be no se ponga. How do we do another reflexive verb like quitarse, for example, to take off? The positive form of command in the usted form would be quítese with an accent on I, or the negative would be no se quite. I repeat, quitarse, positive, quítese, negative, no se quite. Let us talk about another verb like SACAR, to take out. The positive would be saque, and the negative would be no saque. I repeat, SACAR in the positive command in the usted form would be saque, and the negative command in the usted form would be no saque. Let us talk about a verb like SALIR, to leave. The positive command would be salga, and the negative command in the usted form would be no salga. I repeat, SALIR, to leave, positive becomes salga, negative becomes no salga. Let us talk about another reflexive verb, SECARSE, to dry oneself. The positive command of the usted form of SECARSE would be sequese with an accent on the first E. The negative would be no se seque. I repeat, SECARSE, positive would be sequese, and negative would be no se seque. Of SENTARSE, which is another reflexive verb, to sit, the positive would be siéntese, and the negative would be no se siente. I repeat, SENTARSE in the positive usted command form would be siéntese. The negative usted command form would be no se siente. Let us talk about a verb which is very important like ser, to be. The positive usted form would be sea. The negative usted command form would be no sea. I repeat, ser, positive command, sea, ser, negative command, usted form, no sea. SUBIR, to go up, the positive usted command would be suba. The negative usted command would be no suba. Let us talk about another verb like tener, which is an ER ending verb and which means to have. The positive command of usted form would be tenga. The negative would be no tenga. In tomar, we can see to take, and the positive would be tome, and the negative usted command would be no tome. I repeat, tomar, to take, the positive is tome, the negative is no tome. Let us talk about another verb like venir, to come. The positive is venga, the negative is no venga. I repeat, for venir, the positive command is venga and the negative usted command is no venga. Let us talk about another verb like ver, to see. The positive usted command of ver would be vea and the negative command in usted form is no vea. I repeat, ver, positive, vea, negative, no vea. So, to conclude, I would like to say that these Spanish verbs are also a lot of fun to learn because they also are having a very set pattern of endings. You have to have a look at more such verbs and their lists and their different patterns in the advanced grammar section. In the meanwhile, please go to the section of self-evaluation and evaluate yourself on the basis of what you have learned. Muchas gracias.